Night Live show. It's 9 p.m., 9:02 p.m. I did hit it a couple minutes late. Thank you guys for joining me. And tonight we're going to talk about small business, and we are going to talk about making your business legal in 2020. If you guys aren't already legal in 2019, it's very important that you get a pen and paper, get a electronic notepad, whatever you need to do, whether it's your iPad, your phone, or if you are old fashioned like I am sometimes, and write things down, because this is going to be the basics of making sure that you are on the up and up. Now, a couple of disclaimers, 3 disclaimers before we go any further, and then I will move you along to the rest of this video. So number 1 is that I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, so you absolutely need to consult with one of those if you have no idea what you're doing or you're inexperienced, etc. Definitely want to do that. Number 2 is that what works for my business and what works for your business may not be the same that works for everybody's business. So keep that in mind. You do what's best for you. And the third thing is all of us live in different states and different areas. So the way that it works here in Florida may not be the way that it works in Michigan or Alabama or California or what have you. So you will need to do a little more investigating, but I'm going to try to give you the best overall general experience and knowledge that I have. So real quick, welcome in to Adam from Adam's Exploits, his YouTube channel you can click on. He does have that blue wrench. He is our admin. If you have problems in the chat, if you have questions, concerns, comments, or need links, he is the guy to do it for you. Yeah, and also Paul DeLeo just texted me right here and remind people, not only am I not a CPA, I am not a lawyer as well. So you can even contact an attorney who specializes in business to set you up. So all great questions. Jamie Pace also over there with the blue wrench. He's an admin who can help you out as well. So with that being said, okay, let's jump into it. I want to cover the 5 main keys. So tonight I'm going to cover the general basics of setting up your business for 2020. You can do it before the end of the year, but if you want to start it on January 1 or January 2, that's okay as well. It's totally up to you, but you need to get it going. Quick hello in the chat as well. I do see Better Barbie and Dave and Bill in here and a few others. So Alexis and Zombie, Bargain Hunter, a couple of you guys. So thank you for being here. But I'm going to cover the basics in 5 steps tonight. I want everyone to know that Saturday, I'm going to go in depth in a webinar Saturday afternoon. It's linked below if you want to join it. We're going to cover actual accounting purposes, and we're going to cover going in depth. This is going to be the basics tonight, and we'll do the advanced in the webinar Saturday. So that link is down below. And also, if you need a full accounting program, that is, of course, I do provide that. You can purchase a full accounting video and training program if you don't know anything about accounting. We're not going to get into accounting tonight. We're going to do business setup, and then we'll cover the accounting later if you decide to purchase that and pick that up. All of that is also included in my full reseller training package. So I provided those links below. All right, without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's get started with the 5 steps of registering your business in 2020, the different routes you can go and what you need to do. So step number 1 is, and this is where people get confused. Again, make sure you have your pen and paper to write this down. Hey, Megan Mawini, another one of my admins jumped in. Number 1 is registering your business with the federal government, with the United States of America, this wonderful country that most of us in this chat live in. Some of you do not. So if you don't live in this country, this won't matter for you. Now, there are 3 ways to go about registering your business in the U.S. This is federal government. This is registering your business to pay federal income tax. Everyone has to pay it. Registering your business to report and either pay or get back money from the federal government, from the IRS, right? So you're going to go to irs.gov, okay? Route number 1 is irs.gov, and you can apply for an EIN. Your EIN is your tax identification number. It's an electronic, it's a number that they assign to anyone who registers a business with the IRS. It's an employer identification number, EIN. And that number is going to give your business its unique tax number. It's a federal tax number, and it's the number you will use to file your federal taxes. You can file as a sole proprietor. You can file as an LLC, sole owner or multi-owner, and you can file as a corporation, an S Corp, for example. Those are routes that you will need to discuss with your CPA or your attorney in order to decide what is best for you. I have an LLC. It's a single owner LLC. I'm a single owner. one person, one entity. Kate is a signer on my business, but I am the sole owner of this business. So that is route number one. You can go to irs.gov and register as one of those three types of businesses. The second way that you can do it is you don't have to go to IRS and get an EIN. You can operate under your social security number as a sole proprietor. You don't have to go through all that route. You can run your business as a sole proprietor social security number until the end of time. That's perfectly okay. A lot of people do that. They run businesses for 20, 30 years where they never register. So that's route number two. Route number three is that you can hire an attorney or a CPA, as we talked about, or both, and they can set up your corporate papers and your articles of incorporation for you on behalf of you. If you're totally clueless, you may want to go that route. It's actually pretty easy. You don't need a lawyer. They charge a fee for a reason. You are very capable and can do it yourself. But if you feel better about paying a lawyer $200 or $300, by all means, knock yourself out. So, sole proprietor is a Schedule C. That's correct. Okay. So, what are the differences between sole proprietors, LLCs, and S Corps? Well, I'm not going to dig deep into those. We'll go over those more in that webinar. If you join the webinar using the link below for Saturday afternoon. If you can't make it Saturday, you can watch the replay 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever you want. So a sole proprietor means it's just you. You're operating as Casey, as Tina, as Mark, as Adam, as Jamie. And your business name as a sole proprietor will be Adam Freites, Casey Paris. Now, that would be the business name that would appear on your bank account, for example, or a credit card. It is a sole proprietor. It is you, your name. You're operating as you as a social security number. You're taxed one time. You don't have to write yourself a paycheck. Now, you can buy what's called a DBA, a doing business as fictitious name. And what that'll do is, let's say your business is Casey Paris, right? That's me, and I'm a sole proprietor, but I want to go open an ice cream shop or clothing store out at a strip mall, and I want to call it Casey's Awesome Fashions or Awesome Fashions Deluxe or whatever, or Cool Chilled Popsicles. Well, I'm going to go buy a DBA, a fictitious name, in order to have the right to operate as that business. So yeah, you can have Casey Paris as a business, but you want to operate under a cool name. You have to go pay for that fictitious name in order to operate under that. And then you can accept payments and checks and credit cards under that name. And so that's what we call a fictitious name and a DBA. Now, what does it cost in Florida or with the federal government? It's free to register for an EIN. And when you get to registering the state, I'll tell you how much it costs. Actually, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay. So, consider that a corporation must be represented by an attorney in court. Paul, great on this. He's a CPA. We're going to talk about all of the specifics of all of these in depth once we get there next Saturday or this Saturday on the webinar. So LLC, like I have, there's two types, sole owner and multi-owner. Sole owner, of course, is just you. And if you have partners that you want to split the company up as an LLC, you can have a multi-owner LLC. It's taxed. A sole owner is taxed similar to a sole proprietor, where you just get taxed once. And multi-owners and partnership LLCs, you have to write paychecks, same as like a corporation. Okay. So a DBA can be another Schedule C, and DBA must be registered with the state operation. Yes, Tina, I'm getting right to that. That's my next point. Okay. So the second thing you must do after you've decided to register with the IRS, you've gone to irs.gov, you chose sole proprietor or sole owner LLC or S Corp. Most of you will be sole proprietors or sole owner LLCs. You'll get some protections of the LLCs. It's a little more expensive to register. And there's some differences in, like insurance purposes and whatnot. Okay. So thank you, Alexis. Appreciate that. Okay. So the second thing to do is with your state. Now, every state is different. And here's how it works in Florida. We have a website called sunbiz.org. Some people like to register with the state first. I don't think there's really a difference in the order that you do it. I did it with the government first and then went to the state. You can certainly check your state out and make sure the business name you want to use is available before you register it with the IRS. It'd be a bad feeling to register McDonald's Incorporated on irs.gov and then go to your state just to find out that it's taken, right? Okay, so you're going to go to the state and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to register as either the sole prop or the LLC, whatever you've chosen, and you're going to pay. Here in Florida, a sole proprietor is $50 a year to register your business as a sole prop. As an LLC that I have, a sole owner LLC, it's about $135 or $140, somewhere in that neighborhood for the entire year. And then I gave them my business name. If you are going to operate as a sole proprietor or a business that's in your name and you want to register a DBA, a fictitious name, This website in Florida is also where you would buy that name, Casey's Cool Pops. Boom, I bought it. That, I believe, is $50 extra as well, and like a $5 mailing fee to own that fictitious name. And so you will buy that fictitious name and attach it to either the sole prop or the sole proprietor. And now you're registered in the state. When you do this, you will also be provided your sales tax certificate, your state reseller sales tax certificate. And that allows you to buy merchandise tax-free when you go into certain places that accept it. And also, you will be able to buy from wholesale sites and bulk and discount sites that require that sales tax certificate. And so that is really important that you get that sales tax certificate, and then you can start collecting and paying sales tax. Or if you're eBay, Amazon only, and they're collecting it for you, then you're all set. Now, some states do require you to file sales tax, even if another website paid it for you. Here in Florida, we still have to file it, even though eBay might be paying it for us. It's still our responsibility to send them the report that says $1,000 of sales tax were collected on our behalf and eBay took care of it. Okay, so that's step 2, is filing with the state. And that's where you will be able to do a record search and find the owner of a business. If you go through sunbiz.org, if you saw the thumbnail of this video, that's a screenshot of my business registration in the state of Florida of Worldwide Sales LLC. Okay. So I need to check to see if Casey's Candles is still available. If you sell on YouTube directly, do you also need an auctioneer's license in Florida? I don't know what an auctioneer's license is, honestly. And if you mean selling on YouTube, like putting links in your YouTube videos to sell stuff, you just need your normal, like, that's just like selling anywhere else. Alexis, is it required to register with both the IRS and the state? So the IRS, if you're running as a sole proprietor, you do not have to register. You can just operate under your social security number. You are welcome as a sole proprietor to register on the IRS website. You can do that and get an EIN. But yes, you do need to register at the state level. At the state level 100% to register your business. Now, the third step, and this is only in some areas, some states and counties don't have this. Here in Florida, we have to register what is called a county occupational license. So I've registered with the federal government, I've registered with the state of Florida, and now I'm going to register with Hillsborough County, which covers Tampa, Florida, and they charge me $30 a year. It's basically a license that gives me the right to do business in the county of Hillsborough, which is where I live. The state license gives me a business license to register and operate in the state of Florida, and the county one here in the county of Hillsborough. It seems like double taxation. It probably is. Keep receipts when you pay for these things. When you register businesses and renew them every year, they are tax deductible. Okay, can you get a sales tax exempt if you're a sole proprietor? Yes, absolutely. When you register with the state of Florida, and this should be with every state, when you tell them you're a sole proprietor and you register your business in that state, they will issue you a sales tax certificate, and that is your reseller certificate for tax exempt, 100%. Hey, eBay addicts, how you doing? What exactly do you mean selling on YouTube? Yeah, some people sell stuff in their YouTube videos. They do like live videos and auctions. So yeah. Okay, so that's step 3, registering with the county if your county requires it. I don't know every county in this country. You will have to Google that or ask somebody at your local tax collector's office, as they generally will know. So that's step 3. Okay, so step 4, what is the 4th step to getting your business legal and on the up and up? So we've set up with the IRS, we've set up with the state, we've set up with the county. Now, you need to check with your local laws about required licenses and registrations. There could be more, of course. An occupational license often gives the county tax collector the heads up that you may want to report your business assets so they can subject them to property tax. That is another great point, Paul, we'll get into during the webinar. Hey, Alexander. Okay, so step number 4 is that we need to get a bank account. We need to go get some kind of financial institution. Now, this is not a have to do, but it's a highly recommended to do. And I think anybody that doesn't have a business bank account is foolish. Now, you can certainly disagree with me, but let's say you're operating through life with your normal personal accounts, everything's going, and now you've opened an eBay and PayPal account, or you've been running it into your personal account. You really should get a business bank account, and you should have that money depositing into there and paying your business expenses out of the account, and then sending money from your business account to your personal account, almost like you're paying yourself if it's a sole prop or sole owner LLC, right? Okay, so that's step number 4 is a bank account, and I really think that everyone should consider getting that. Also, when you have a bank account like that, a lot of places you can use your bank statements. It's called cash flow statements, incoming and outgoing, that can get you loans and get you proof of income as well for certain things. So that's really important. Hey, Hawaii Flower Child, aloha. How you doing, buddy, over there on the islands? Love to see you here. And Brian, how are you? So definitely want to have a business account. I actually have two. Kate has one and I have one. And we have business credit cards through BOA. So the cost of having a business account, here we have Bank of America. And if you use your debit card for $250 a month of charges, they will exempt you from the fee. Or if you have $3,500 average daily balance. So I have that. But if I didn't, you can just sign up your debit card to pay some of your bills. Have it pay for your gas, have it pay for your electric bill, whatever bills you have, and it'll use that $250, and then you won't get charged the bank account fee. They're usually anywhere from like $15 to $25, depending on the bank. My dad has a business account through a bank called Fifth Third, and it's $11 a month. Beware that business bank accounts lack the protections mandated by law for personal accounts. I'm not really sure what that means. That would be news to me, Paul. Not 100%. One for bills, one for business. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that either. I'll have to talk to Paul about the protections of the bank account. But definitely recommended step 4, getting a business bank account and using once you're registered and you have all your stuff, your DBA or your sales tax, you'll get all that online. You can print most of it out. You'll take that into the bank and they'll be able to open you a bank account. Usually they want like $100 deposit or something, or $50. Okay, so that's step 4. Now, step number 5, once you have all of this paperwork, Phil, yeah, once you have all of these paperwork, all this sales tax and DBAs and all that stuff, you can go over to your accounts, your eBay accounts, your PayPal accounts. If they're not already business accounts, you want to upgrade them to business accounts. It doesn't cost anything. And you want to add all of this information to those websites. You want your business to be tied to them. It doesn't have to be, but it's certainly a good thing to do, right? If you've opened a business, you've opened a bank account, you want to go put it on your PayPal, or if eBay managed payments, you can certainly tie it to eBay. That way, all that money now goes into your business account. If you start a YouTube channel today and in 3 or 4 months it starts making some money, you want to give YouTube, it's called Google AdSense, your bank account number for that money to go to. And so that's how you are going to set up a legal business with a bank account and a sales tax certificate, and you can start rolling right away. So it's super, super important that you go about this. Primetime Treasure Hunter, Dom's in the house. I've been legal for a while. Thanks to you back in the day. Well, thank you, Dom. I appreciate that. Dominic's got an amazing channel. Speaking of, he's been putting out some fire videos. Feel free to link Adam, your channel, and Dom's channel, because you guys are putting some good content out. So thank you guys. Thank Dom for that. Mr. Buys a Lot. Just watching, but leaving work now, so can't watch and drive home. Great seeing you, Casey. Hey, no worries, buddy. We're going to get together and do something in 2020. I promise you that. Always awesome information. Well, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that as well. Paul just commented, consumer protections don't apply to business accounts. I had a recurring charge from AT&T on the debit card, causes $2.95 in overdraft fees. Account was $5 overdrawn. Oh, yeah. Why don't people pay right away when they buy something on eBay? Why does eBay even have that option? Because they're way behind the times. Agreed. You think the debit card would simply get declined, but no, it caused multiple NSFAs and don't allow opting out. Oh, yeah. Paul, I do know about that. So what Paul's saying is that your bank can stop charges, like if you were to overdraft. So a while back, I had 2 bank accounts, and I was closing one up and just going to using one, and I kept like $300 in the small one. And one day I transferred that money out because I knew I was going to be closing it like the following week. So I only left like $40 in it. And that's when PayPal had the huge glitch, and it charged this was last year or 2 years ago, and it charged all of the fees for my shipping labels. And this was a Monday. I shipped like 50 packages at like $4 or $5 a piece. So you're talking about $200 or $300, and I only had like $50 in the account. It charged them all straight to the bank. And so the label started charging that $50, and eventually the account went down to 0. But then it charged another, 20 labels at $5 each. So it just $5 charge, $5 charge, $5 charge, $5 charge. So my account went $100 negative, but they charged $30 every single time it hit. So it was 20 times 30, which was $600. So I woke up, my account was like negative $700. I'm like, are you kidding me? All that money should have came out of PayPal. I had like $1,000 in PayPal, but it didn't. It went out of the bank. So yeah, the business bank accounts will not do that. So PayPal ended up taking care of that for me. And I closed that account and only used the other bank account. But that was just one example of that. So, and that money did come out of Fifth Third actually too, Paul. They actually took care of it. But PayPal took care of all of it. They took care of all the fees. So it was awesome. Okay, so that is legally setting up your business and getting a bank account and being registered and ready to go. Now, of course, you want to set up accounting and bookkeeping. We'll go over that in the webinar Saturday. Real important, if you can join us Saturday, that you do it. You can just join and watch that webinar where I'll go more in depth, or you can grab the accounting program to go with it, which will really, really help you considering we're at the end of the year and 2020 is coming up. So those links are below. They're both also included. You're going to get the webinar, the accounting, the store review, everything if you decide to pick up the full training program that also includes social media and whatnot. Links below. Off topic. Thanks for giving me the guts to start a YouTube channel. That's awesome, Alexis. Can't wait to see your YouTube channel grow in 2020. And I will do everything I can to help you out. Okay, Fifth Third, we do nothing, so I told them they can go. So the Fifth Third wouldn't help me, Paul. You're right. Fifth Third did not want to help. PayPal actually took care of it. Okay, so because this is a very important topic, I want to take your questions on it. It's 9:20. So let's go ahead and open it up to questions. $9 debited. Need more education. Light still blinks. Phil Prasco. Yeah. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate the super chat there, and I appreciate you being on the channel. We'll get you all up to speed though. No worries at all. Can you tell me Studio Creator on Facebook? Not really sure what you mean. Hey, Casey, quick question. Can you tell me Studio Creator on Facebook? Don't know what you mean, buddy. Don't know what you mean. If your sales under 20,000, isn't it considered a hobby? No. That is incorrect. $20,000 and $200 or 200 transactions. A question that's asked 100 times a week in groups. That is simply the threshold of when you will receive a 1099 from online e-commerce and processing websites. You must report the income far before you hit 20,000 and 200. Even if you just do 19,000 and 150, you don't want to get audited and not report that income because they will find out. They'll pull your bank records. They'll pull your PayPal records. They will freeze them. They will find what they need to find. You need to report everything. Yes. In the state of Florida, and this is in a lot of states, if you buy a fictitious name, if you have a sole proprietor, Casey Paris, and you decide you want to run Casey's Cool Shop and buy the DBA, the doing business as fictitious name of Casey's Cool Shop, and you buy it, you have to publish it in the newspaper. Yeah. They require that. It's really, really odd, but that is a public notice. So everyone knows, hey, that shop belongs to Casey. It's just a requirement, like a legality, I guess. Everyone doesn't know this, but Google is not called Google Incorporated. They're called Alphabet, in case you didn't know that. Yeah, don't take any chances. Sky, take your deductions. It's not income or deductions. You're good to stick with that. Do I need to pay for the Saturday webinar if I already paid for the program? No, it's about to get real. I'll send it out to you. Shoot me an email, rockstarflipper@gmail.com. No, you're good. It's about to get real. You're good. Yeah, take your deduction. So here's what a lot of people don't understand about the thing. Let's say that you did $5,000 in sales this year. Let's say you're averaging $400 or $500 a month, right? Or maybe you didn't start until July or August and you've only done a couple $1,000, $5,000, right? If we take the profit on that, you only pay taxes on profit. So let's say that you profited $3,000. You did well. You profited 3 on the 5, right? So now you have 3,000 in profit, and the IRS is going to say, well, on your 3,000, that's 18% range, depending on your other income. You owe us $500, right? But then you get deductions. You're going to take your shipping costs, your materials, your mileage to drive to the thrift stores, your parking. You're going to take your cell phone usage because you use your phone to look everything up and you can take a piece of that. You're going to take all these deductions and all of a sudden you go from owing them $500 to owing them none or getting a refund, or maybe you owe $50 or something. So yeah. How does it work if you're going to file jointly with a spouse? Okay, if you are married, you will still open the business and you have to decide if you're going to open it in only your name. You can still have a business in your name only when you're married, or you can open it as the both of you are owning it. Now, remember, if you were to get a divorce, even if you have the business in your name, your husband is legally married to you and does have a right to it, okay? So once you file, since you guys file jointly, you will pull the Schedule C, which is the self-employed, the 1099s, and you guys will add a Schedule C to your normal tax return. I don't know if you have W-2s or what you have, but you'll add that Schedule C in there and you'll put that income in, and that will go towards your total gross income. And then you'll do your deductions as normal. But I definitely recommend contacting a CPA on that. Does the same legality apply to a web domain? No. You don't have to put your new web domain up in a newspaper that I know of. Is there a way to keep your anonymity when you set up a corporation? Brian D. Watkins. There is. So great question. If you open an LLC or a corporation and you don't want people to know who owns it, you will need to open it one of two ways, three ways. No, two ways. You can open it as a trust. No, there is three ways. You can open it as a trust, which basically is ran through a lawyer, like a law office, and they'll open it as the law office is the point of contact and it has a trust. And so no one will know who actually owns the business. The second way, it's a well-known story here in Florida. The girl that owns Spanx, I don't remember the name, but she bought a house. She bought two houses on the water, mansions near Hulk Hogan's old house, knocked them down and built one big house. And she called that company like Slow Turtle Inc. or something or whatever, but she opened it through law offices and no one knew that that was her business. The only way they ended up tracking it back is somebody, paparazzi or whatever, took photos of her outside of the house, looked up the house address, backtracked it to the corporation, and realized she owned Slow Turtle or Small Turtle or whatever it was. And then they were able to locate her. And so that's kind of sucky. People can still find out, but that's how you would hide it. The second way is you can run it under someone else's name that you trust and have them as the point of contact. For example, I could call Drive Time with Dave, run a business, give the business a PO box and his name, and no one would ever know the difference, but he would be on the hook. The third way is you can just hire an independent lawyer who can set it up for you and use his name as the point of contact, similar to a trust, but just as a law office. So there's ways to do it to keep your anonymity. Absolutely. Let's see. Casey, what about if you don't publish the fictitious name? What can happen and what's the deadline to publish it? I think it has to be up within 30 days or 90 days. And I think they can fine you some fees. I'm not really sure. Home office is a deduction. Yeah, absolutely. How do you set up for your shipping labels to only be taken out of your PayPal balance and not from your bank account to PayPal to eBay? I've been trying to figure it out, but I can't. Red Cardinal Treasures. It's under your business policies or it's under your, you have to go into PayPal and go to linked accounts. What do you mean? You just file a Schedule C on your tax return, whether it's joint, it's single. When you talk about mileage, do you add it one way or round trip? It's round trip, Tina. If you go to Goodwill and back, that whole trip counts. Your deductions are the reason to play. Yeah. Here's something real cool. Recent tax law changes only tax 80% of your business income in most cases. Not sure I'm familiar with that. If you're receiving SSI, I believe you're only allowed to have so much money to your name and you may reduce your benefits. Yes. So obviously I'm not old enough to be collecting Social Security, but I do know there are some rules about how much money you can make on that. So you have to decide if the money you're making is worth more than the money you get from Social Security or vice versa. And so you'll have to do what's best for you. What if you have two businesses? Do you register them separate or under a name covering them both? Great question, Diana Rhodes. You can do both. So I'll give you a great example. I own Worldwide Sales, LLC. Under Worldwide Sales, I own the fictitious names for Rockstar Flipper, Worldwide Sells, and Electronic Zone, which is one of my old store names. So those are technically just DBAs. They're separate, and Worldwide Sales owns them. If I wanted to go start an ice cream shop right now, Casey's Cool Shop, Casey's Cool Ice Cream Shop, I can either buy the DBA and run that under Worldwide Sales, or I can go start a whole new business just like I'm starting from fresh. So great question. You can do either. What do I recommend? I run everything under my Worldwide Sales because it's all the same. If I was going to open a totally separate business like a dog grooming or an ice cream shop, I might think about getting another business for sure. Can my wife's name be on the bank account, but I file taxes separately? You would have to add her as a signer, but yes, she can be on there. Absolutely. Do you feel a trust is the safest route? Yeah, I do. When Walt Disney was buying up land in Orlando for a future park, it was all done with a bunch of corporations that didn't reveal the buyer was really Disney. Didn't want landowners to take advantage. Yeah, Paul's exactly right. When Walt Disney in the 70s flew over Orlando, he bought pieces of acreage of land under names that were like the characters spelled backwards, like Mickey spelled backwards. I don't even know what that was. He created little shell companies, which you'll hear a lot about. People create shell companies. And it was like Mickey backwards is like, it was like Yickum or something, Yickum LLC or Yickum Incorporated. And so he literally, he did one that was like DD Incorporated, Donald Duck. You can look it up. They have some of the names, but he did that because he didn't want people to know that it was Walt Disney or the Disney Corporation buying up all this land, because they would have jacked the prices up because they knew he had money. And so that is what it did. And it was super successful. No one knew until they broke ground that it was Disney. No one had any idea. And then he was always dead. What's a good way to find a CPA next year? You got to look locally. You definitely want a CPA that's in your area, and you definitely want one that's experienced on e-commerce. When you're selling across the internet, do you have to register as an alien business in different states? No, you don't. When my dad was alive, it was $3,000, but he was married, so that may mean for married couples. $5 from Brian D. Watkins. Thanks so much. Absolutely, Brian. Really appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate that from Brian. I'll pop that there up on the channel. Can you deduct a portion of your rent under home office? So home office, the requirements are that it has to be dedicated room that you use for business. If you are a renter and you do not own your house, you still can deduct home office because it's an expense as part of your rent. Absolutely. I drove by Hogan's old house the other day. I've driven by it a few times. Section 199A deduction, also known as qualified business income deduction, significant tax rates for all business owners, but there are rules and limits, of course. You can rent PO boxes from the UPS. That's true as well. Do you need an LLC to have more than one DBA? No, you can have as many DBAs as you want. In commercial real estate, you do not reveal your buyer. No, definitely not. How did you end up so knowledgeable about taxes and stuff? It's really impressive. Vincent Jones Smith. Well, thank you for that kind comment. Honestly, the truth is my mom has a history in doing taxes. Also, I'm self-taught. I teach myself everything. I've watched hundreds of YouTube videos. I've talked to CPAs. I have 3 CPAs at any one time that I can message. I've had a lot of people surround me. I'm good friends with 2 people that do millions of dollars a year in sales. Drive Time with Dave and Chris from CNC. So I learned from them. It's surrounding yourself with the right people and the right information. But also, I don't sleep. And usually when I'm not sleeping, I have my iPad open and I'm watching nonstop documentaries, YouTube videos, training programs, you name it, I watch it. I've probably single-handedly watched more documentaries, videos, YouTube training channels in 1 year than most of you watch in a lifetime. It's what I do. And most of the time I don't watch, I listen. But I just learn a lot. I really just research, and I'm surrounded by really good people. So YouTube channel. Yeah, Adam's YouTube channel. I just linked. Go check it out. Make sure you subscribe before you head out of here tonight. He'd really appreciate it. If you live in California, make sure they're very knowledgeable of California taxes. Yeah, California is very complex. Paul's right. A lot of you have opinions on California, but make sure they know what they're doing. Home office deduction, be careful. Ask Paul, it's tricky. Yeah, there are some requirements for the home office. And I'll be honest with you guys, there's a couple different ways you can do the deduction on it. I do the normal home office. It comes up for me. It asks the square footage, which is just our house right there, or our office right here behind me, actually. That's our office right there behind that painting. And so I just put in the square footage and that's it. Like I just do the most basic one because I don't want to pull any craziness going on. Hamzi Nasser, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Really appreciate that. Okay, I dated a woman who's, I think parents lived in a high-rise a block away from Hogan Mansion and went walking around that gated street in Bel Air Beach. No, I've seen Hulk Hogan at Hogan's Beach when it was open, but I've never seen him out at the street. What's the average cost for a domain name? Alexis, you can buy domain names for like $12 on GoDaddy. And then the hosting can be anywhere from $5 to $25 a month, depending. If you get a really premium one, some of the domain names can be $50, $100, $200, but you really shouldn't pay more than $10 to $20 for one. Diana, I resell. The husband has rural internet biz. Would you register separate? Thanks for always being. Yeah, those are 2 really totally separate businesses. I would have them separate. Did you see Hogan's Heroes? No. Exactly. I call using the home deduction a gray area, red flag. Yeah, I don't do anything crazy with the home office thing. Law of attraction, good people. Tina, is it Dutenhoeffer? I really appreciate it. Thanks for being so involved in the chat tonight. Really, really appreciate that. Don't believe the scare tactic that a home office deduction is a red flag for an audit. That hasn't been the case. It's not a red flag. Paul's right to a point. It's not a red flag. The point of the home auction or the home office deduction is if you don't do it right, you can get yourself messed up. So it's not necessarily a red flag right off the top just because you're taking the deduction. Home office, you can mess up because remember, it has to be dedicated for office use only. That room never gets opened except for us to go in there. We have shipping supplies, inventory, and a computer and printer and whatnot in there. So that's all office. Nobody guest room sleeps in there. There's nothing but that room is our business room. That's it. Okay, if you say 500 sales in another state than you live, can you be liable for taxes in that state? And how do you find out how many sales for each state make you liable? Stitch House Creations, they're supposed to be collecting it for you if you're talking eBay, Amazon. If you're doing sales to another state on your own, then yes, you will need to check on their requirements. Some states have 0 requirement, like the first one you hit, you have to sell. And some of them, like South Dakota, have like $100,000 or $250,000 thresholds. If you don't sell that much to the state, you don't have to worry about their sales tax. I'm practically about to cry listening to the answer to my question. It's basically on and 100% committed. Thank you, Vincent. Really appreciate that. Why are you about to cry? What? Hold on. Let me go back up. How did I end up so knowledgeable? Yeah, just kind of teaching myself, basically. How do you know your total shipping costs monthly? I go into PayPal and pull my report from PayPal for USPS. Okay. Did Hulk Hogan call you brother? There's a picture of me with Hawk and Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, on my Facebook. If you scroll through my personal Facebook, you'll see the pictures. I don't know if he called me brother, but maybe. Hardworking German husband who supports his wife. That's awesome. I'm in Michigan. I'm closing my posh count. I have about 900 pieces of brand new women's clothing. How do I sell it through your site? Email me liquidation lots 4 less, the number 4. God, I can't speak. Liquidation lots with an S, the number 4 less at gmail.com. And I will get you all the information to sell them. One thread at a time. Better late than never. Better late than never. Can't do personal. I was outside sales for almost 30 years. I never qualified for a home office deduction. Yeah. Florida and a couple other states have enacted laws requiring eBay, Amazon to do sales tax collection yet. Yeah, they're still behind though. Is there a way to register your business online or do you have to hire a CPA? You can do everything that I've described in this video online. IRS.gov will allow you to register your business with the federal government. And every state has a Department of Revenue. It's called the Florida Department of Revenue, and that's where we register. Sunbiz.org happens to be our website. That's the website address, and you can register right online. So, yeah, you should be able to do it. If you need a CPA, for sure, do it. Joanna Chen, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Love you guys too. I count my shipping costs with pen and paper. Is there any way we can get total monthly shipping costs? If you're handwriting it and buying it from the post office, you would have to keep the receipts and have a stack of receipts and total it up. I mean, that's really bad. You should be printing online. It's about to get real. That's a better, beautiful picture. Yeah. So great questions. You guys have really awesome questions tonight. I really appreciate it. Over 200 of you in the chat. If you can hit the like button, I really, really do appreciate that. There's a pic of Rockstar and Hawk tearing off their t-shirts at the same time, selling now on eBay. That's kind of funny. I'll try to find really quick while we're taking a few more questions. I'll try to find the picture of me and Hawk or me and Jimmy Hart somewhere. If you want to open a business bank account, you'll need to register the business with your state first. Yeah, Paul, you got to get that state reseller certificate. You got to get that sales tax number in order to register. Either sole prop or LLC. It doesn't matter which way you go with it, but definitely want to register with the state. Okay, can you help me with setting up a YouTube channel? Yeah, I do social media stuff. Definitely, I can help you with that. Thank you. That's the local lake here, about 8 minutes from us. Yeah, so let's take some more questions in case anybody has some more questions they want to throw my way. I'd love to answer a few more. Thumbs up is blue. Yours should be too. Yeah, I love that. So also, God, I had something else on my mind there I wanted to mention to you guys. Oh, the webinar Saturday, that's still available below. along with the accounting program. So make sure if you haven't already grabbed that, do grab it, please. If you've already purchased my full program before, I'll get you in. Just shoot me an email or message. What else we got? What else we got, guys? Couple more questions, and then I'll head out of here. It's 9:40, so let's just say maybe like 5 more minutes. I'm trying to find you the picture of me and Hulk Hogan or Jimmy Hart. Who knows where it's at? Good luck with me finding it. My mom has it on her page too. If you don't see it there. What's the benefit of opening a business bank account instead of just using a business PayPal account? Well, you need to send the PayPal money to somewhere. You can send it to your personal, but you should really have it separated. TurboTax hired me as an employee for the upcoming tax season. Wow. Business or private eBay account? I have a business account, and I recommend if you're going to do this as a business that you have a business over a personal as well. There's no reason not to have a business account. The business account doesn't cost you any more money than you would normally do, and there's really no reason not to have it, I guess, is probably the best answer I can give you there. What is the accounting program? So that's going to cover everything on how to, great question here. I'll go ahead and put it up for you guys. Tom Higgins Jr. had this question, actually. It's going to cover everything on how to take care of your books for Excel. I'm going to teach you how to use Excel to track your expenses, deductions, sales, all those things. It's going to teach you how to use QuickBooks Online, which is the version that I use. If you don't like QuickBooks, that's okay. You can use GoDaddy, but it's going to show you how to input things into programs like that. It's going to cover how, all the categories of expenses, materials, supplies, home office, cell phone, internet, cost of goods sold. I'm going to cover how to do inventory tracking, all that sort of stuff. What time is the webinar? I think it's scheduled for 1 p.m., right? Should you get a second eBay store? No, eBay addicts. I don't recommend it unless it's totally different business, then maybe, but really people shop by your item and not by your store name. So I don't think it matters. You were doing store reviews, you said on the Facebook page. Yeah, Joseph Jones definitely posted that. If you grab that link, I'm going to be doing all the store reviews tonight. I've already got about 20 or 30 come in. What's the advantage of an eBay store over just a regular account? You mean a business account or an eBay store? A business account over a personal account just gives you a little bit more freedom, but an eBay store gives you a ton of benefits like running sales. You can run promotions like Markdown Manager. You get shipping coupons. You get free insertions. There's a ton of benefits to an eBay store over not having a store. The business over the personal account is a little bit different. Okay. Yes, Tammy, send me an email and I'll get you in. I'll make sure that you do get that. It does count. I was able to find the Jimmy Hart picture. I can't find the Hulk Hogan. He's somewhere in here. I'll have to keep scrolling. This was from Hulk Hogan's restaurant. It's not closed up, but it's changed names. This was 2014, so this was 5 years ago. There's Jimmy. Hulk's got to be here somewhere. Took a picture of his boots before I saw him, and also took pictures of his championship belts, some of his belts that he won. It was a cool restaurant. I don't know why they closed it. It's kind of sad. I don't know where the Hulk Hogan picture is. It's somewhere in there. Okay, so Tina, we'll see you Saturday. Appreciate that. A couple more questions and we're going to go. Lower final value fees as well. Yeah. What's your number one goal or your number one priority? To be successful, to have a successful business that pays my bills, allows me to travel, allows me to take care of the family, the dogs, have a family soon, and save for the future to not ever have to work for someone. And if I can help some other people to reach that goal, then awesome. I love it. So how many items should you have listed before you consider starting a store? The starter store is only like $5 or $6 a month. So really, if you're spending that much in insertion fees, 50, 60 items, you should have a store. And then you can upgrade to the basic once you hit like 134 items. Will you still have a limit? Yes. When you get a store, it does not change your limits. If eBay has limited you, you'll still have those limits and you'll need to call to get them raised for the listing limit every month. Jimmy and Ben Mala. Yeah, Ben is like the $150 million guy. Super cool dude. Actually, I have some friends that know him. And I have seen his YouTube channel. It's hilarious. If we purchase videos to educate about running eBay store, can that be a deduction? Yes, that's a deduction. Absolutely, you can deduct any kind of training. I bought a $60 social media training, $64 from some guy that I really like, Billy Jean Shaw, about 2 months ago, and it's definitely an education deduction. Keep the receipt from your PayPal, and you're all set. Okay, last question. If anybody has one last one they want to sneak in there, and I will let you get back to real life. Thank you so much for helping us. Absolutely, Saint Rogue. No worries. I love Ben Mala's YouTube channel. Yeah, he's down in Clearwater. I love him too. Yeah, hit the like button before you head out, guys. I really appreciate it. 69. We should have 100 likes on this. We had over 200 people watching. Where do I suggest the drop ship from? I don't suggest drop shipping. You'll be suspended. They're putting an end to it. Sometimes eBay will send out an invite to try a store free for 2 months. Yeah, if you get any of those invites, Baron Bond deals, anybody who sees that, they can certainly do it. That will help. Let's see. Saturday. How can I target someone's friends on Facebook? You need some Facebook. It's a little more complicated than that. You can do it, but you can create ads. So, okay. All right. I'll let everyone roll out of here. 77 likes. Thank you, guys. Hit it as you hit out of here. I appreciate that. If you didn't grab it, make sure you grab the webinar or the webinar and accounting program so you get both. Or if you grab the reseller program at the bottom, you'll get the entire shebang. Appreciate that. It's $9, $19, or $50. Thank you to everyone who already signed up. If you've already got the full program, I'll get you in Saturday. Just email me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com. Also, store reviews are a part of that, but if you just want a $5 store review, it's available. You can DM me or email me. I put them out today on my email list in my Facebook group, so appreciate that. One last question. What is it? Aurora Styles, one last question. Go for it right now. 2 minutes. Do. Yeah, absolutely, Francis. No problem. And Tina, thank you. Appreciate you being here. And Giselle and everybody else. Real quick, Aurora Styles, that's Myra. What's the question? Question. Yes, Facebook to market the eBay store. Absolutely. What's your question? Question before I click off where I'm going to go. If I click off and you don't get to it, just send it to me on Facebook. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, good night, guys. Appreciate it.